What is up, guys? Here to talk about how I think is a pretty quick and convenient way of making plats. People will just buy this off of you like hotcakes, and that is to flip off your unused prime parts. Never sell again your junk prime parts. So, um, this is targeted mostly for new players or returning players or lazy players like me who don't really have the time or the energy to farm a whole set. So, this is how it is. The overview is basically you're just gonna check what prime parts you have in your inventory um, here, or you can check in your foundry, right? You can check what prime parts you have, and based off of that, you're gonna check warframe market and buy the remaining parts to sell it off as a whole set. Of course, that is also considering stuff like, is it worth it or not to flip it, etc., etc. Anyways, let's get onto nitty gritty, right? First of all, new players, you want to open up your module for this void relic thingy. You want to already open this, and once you have opened that, you want to run a couple of void fisher missions, right? Just run a couple of those missions, see what you can get from those missions, and then once you get a couple of prime parts, you want to take a look here in your foundry or in your inventory, right? In my case, I have this like yearly prime that I farmed, and I'm just honestly too lazy to farm the rest of the parts to sell it off as a set. So what I'm gonna do here, in the case of warframes, right? Warframe needs 4 parts, which is the blueprint itself. You need the prime chassis. You need the neuroptics, and you also need the system. In our case, my yearly prime here only have the blueprint itself and the chassis. We don't have the neuroptics nor the system. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna open up Warframe Market. We're gonna search up yearly prime set, and then we're gonna see the price and see if it's worth it or not for us to flip. So here in yearly prime set, people are buying these at 50. Okay, let's say yearly prime set 50 plats if you want to buy the full set. However, if you want to buy each component, it's gonna be much cheaper for each component. I think for the blueprint itself, it's gonna be 3 plats. For the chassis blueprint, it's gonna be 2 plats. For the neuroptics, it's gonna be 14 plats, and for the systems, it's gonna be 20 plats. Now, as we mentioned, as we established earlier, we already have the blueprint itself, and we already have the chassis itself. So this and this one we don't need. We only need the system, which is this one, right? And also the neuroptics. So let's say we buy this at 14 plats, and we buy the systems at 20. We just add those up as our cost, and it totals up as 34. 34 is what we're gonna use to subtract 50. So 50 minus 34 equals 216. So that's around 16 plats of profit. So as you can see here, it's pretty much easy to flip off your prime sets. Keep in mind you have a trade limit that is tied to your mastery rank. So for my case, I think the most trading I can do in a day is 16 trades. For people who are maybe like mastery rank level 5, you will be able to do like 5 trades per day. So you might want to consider that as well into your calculation. Consider if it's worth it or not for you. And before I forgot to mention, you also need a Warframe market account so you can place a sell order. In my case, I want to sell, for example, if I already have the whole set, I want to sell it at 60 at one quantity, right? And that's about it. And people are going to be able to contact you through this system here, which you can just copy and paste and then press enter, and that's about it. So people are gonna be directly DMing you if they want to buy, so you just leave it there and make sure you select your status as online, not invisible, because if you're invisible, your stuff will not like show up. It'll show up like the only one who's online in game. So yeah, that's about it, guys. If you have any suggestion, comments, leave it down below. Would love to hear other veterans give their 2 cents on this. But that's about it. Thank y'all. See ya.